we understood one example of colorblind cross, which was talking about crisscross inheritance, exact like the colorblind genotype. Like if I am going to write a male, you write XY as a male, and if you write a female, XX. Now if this male is a normal for colorblind, so then it should be having capital C. If this male was colorblind male, then it would be small c, right? Whereas if we talk about female, it was a colorblind female must be having small c, right? Whereas if I am saying, let's rub it off, normal female, it should be capital C, capital C. And if I'm saying a carrier C, then carrier, what will be seen? One is capital C and another is small c. तो यही तरीके से you can do the second crisscross inheritance, that is the transmission of characteristics from grandparent to grandson. So this is a hemophilic condition. Hemophilic condition वो condition होता है when the person's blood doesn't clot, so it's a bleeder's disease. So X and Y, this is for male, but if a boy is a hemophilic or a disease person, the person will have small h. If the person is normal, this is a male, normal, so it should be capital H, right? And if I'm saying a female, she is having hemophilia, so the person should be having small h, small h. But if a female is a carrier, one capital H, another is small h. Okay, that's how you remember. Now the same case, what happened, how you did the cross for color blindness, you're going to do the cross for hemophilia also, जहाँ पे color blind में आपने क्या लिया था, father, मतलब जो grandfather था, he was color blind, crossed with a normal female, and the end product F1 के बाद उसी F1 के female and male का cross किया, तो you got F2 generation. यहाँ पे F1 दिखा है, but it is a second generation, and at the end you got a colorblind male. So the disease was transferred from a grandfather to grandson. Same case is in the hemophilia, wherein the male is having the disease. Hemophilia is there with this person. He's crossed with a normal female, and when the result was seen, the grandson was hemophilic. And in between, what kind of carrier daughters you get? What kind of daughters, rather, we should say? They were carriers, small h, 1, 1. Both were not having. If a daughter is like this, small h, then she is hemophilic. But this condition was not observed. Okay, daughter was just the carrier. So she was a carrier, and then from grandfather to grandson, how the disease got transferred. So make sure you do the cross and send it to me. Now, in examination, if a question comes, write an example of cross showing a sex-linked inheritance. So remember, we are talking about color blindness or hemophilia, anyone. If specifically if they show you, they can also give you this cross and ask you what kind of observation you can write for this. Then you have to talk about crisscross inheritance and transferred in the sex-linked gene, or the gene which are in X and Y, they are responsible for the transfer of the disease. That also you can explain. Now the next topic which you have to understand is the sex determination. When you talk about sex determination, who is responsible for a sex of the child? So let's understand how do we determine the sex. Now when you talk about writing a male genotype, how do you write a male genotype? You're going to write a male like this. But you know, these are other than those 22 pair. जो 22 पेयर हैं उसके साथ जो 23rd पेयर है, that was this XY or XX. If it is XX, then that's a female. तो remember, you have to write it like this. Genotype जो आता है उसको ऐसे लिखते हैं 44 for female, एंड जो 44 मतलब 22nd पेयर, जो आगे के जो सेल्स के अंदर, एक सेल के न्यूक्लियस के अंदर कितने क्रोमोसोम पेयर हैं, इट इज़ 23 पेयर. 23 में से 22 पेयर इज़ ऑटोसोम एंड द रेस्ट वुड बी आइदर XX और XY. If it is XS, it's a female, or it's XY, it's a male. So you can write it like this over here. अब एग्ज़ाम में क्वेश्चन कैसे आता है? How is the okay, first we'll just understand it here only. How would a sex of a child be determined, and who is responsible for the sex of the child? Let's see, I'm just drawing. अभी तक जितने क्रॉस किए हैं, you know how to write the parent. Let's write male crossed with, female crossed with male. Okay, now what is the resultant gamete? कौन से बनेंगे? यहाँ पे एक ये गैमेट बनेगा, एक ये गैमेट बनेगा. तो फीमेल ने कैसे टाइप का गैमेट बनाया? ओनली वन टाइप. बट अबाउट मेल, एक ये गैमेट बनेगा और एक ये गैमेट. तो मेल जो हैं कितने गैमेट्स बना रहे हैं? दे आर मेकिंग टू डिफरेंट टाइप्स ऑफ गैमेट. सो ये हेट्रो कंडीशन है, और यू कैन रिमेंबर दिस एज हेट्रोमॉर्फिक क्रोमोसोम. ओके, फीमेल it is homomorphic, whereas in males it is heteromorphic, because they have two different types of gametes. Now when you talk about gamete formation in female, कोई भी एक, right, कोई भी एक, but in male you have two different types of gamete that is formed. Now when this ova fuses with this sperm, what is the resultant product? X is with the X, so it is a girl child. Or if this ova fuses with this sperm, then the resultant product is X and Y. So this Y came from the father, right? So who is responsible for a sex of a child? It is obviously father, because father can only donate Y. So in humans, male is responsible for the sex of the child. So if that's clear, I can explain you here. They have shown in the diagram this way. Male can form two different gametes, X and Y. This condition is called as heteromorphic condition. Okay, don't forget that. Or you can always use a word heterogametic. heterogametic. हम लोगों ने बार बार बोला था, जब मेंडल का भी कर रहे थे, कैपिटल टी स्मॉल टी आया था, इट वाज हेट्रोजाइगस. हम लोग वर्ड यूज़ कर रहे थे ना, हेट्रो. अगर वो कैपिटल टी था, हम बोल रहे थे होमोजाइगस, राइट? सो जस्ट लाइक दैट व्हेन यू आर राइटिंग, एग्जाम में ऐसे ही आएगा. तो डिटरमाइन द सेक्स ऑफ द चाइल्ड यूजिंग द प्यूनेट स्क्वायर, देन यू हैव टू ड्रॉ इट लाइक दैट. पेरेंट का बनाओगे मेल XY, फीमेल XX, गैमेट फॉर्मेशन you show, then you will draw this Punnett square wherein you write male on top. Male के जो gametes हैं, one is X sperm, another is Y. So we have 50%, it give rise to 50% X chromosome, whereas the remaining 50% is Y chromosome. Okay, so sperm will have, one would be X type, another would be Y type, whereas in female all would be similar, they will all be X chromosome. So now when you draw a Punnett square, it's very easy for you to draw. No, एक side में you will write for male X and Y, and the side you write female. So now you can see this X and this X forms a female, and this X and this Y forms a male. This X and this X forms female, and last this Y and this X give rise to XY, male. So male, for formation of male, Y is essential. Who is giving Y? It is donated by the male. So remember, this is an important line which you have to write. The sex of the child depends upon the type of sperm fertilizing the egg. Egg is only of this type. If a sperm is X, that is fertilizing this, it will give rise to a female. If a sperm is Y, that is fertilizing this X, then the product will be a male. So the real person who is responsible for the sex of the child, it is the father. Okay, hence the father is responsible for determination, because the sperm type determines the child's sex. Remember that. And you can read the remaining part, that's quite clear to you. लेकिन बर्ड में कुछ अलग है. बर्ड के अंदर मेल्स आर होमोजाइगस and females are hetero. So agar this Y, male, this is a male, so male is only providing one type of sperm, whereas female is providing two types of egg, and one is Z and another is W. When this ova fuses with this sperm, it will give rise to a male, whereas if this ova fuses with this sperm, it will give rise to the female. So female in birds, okay, this is another question. Sex determination in bird, then you have to draw everything just like you did in for humans. Okay, female is responsible for the sex of the child in birds, but it is not written as X and Y, it is written as Z and ZW, ZZ and ZW type. Okay, here you will ask me what is this 2N, जो बाकी के क्रोमोसोम है वो इसलिए यहाँ रखा है 2N के फॉर्म में. Even if you do it like this, you will score marks. Nobody will cut marks for you, okay? And it's not difficult also. 2N is divided, distributed, you can write it. यहाँ पे भी एक N है, यहाँ पे भी एक N है, यहाँ से भी it is distributed. It is the calculation of chromosome, number of chromosome. Alright, then next is the sex determination in honeybee. Here the characteristics is little different, it's tricky. If there is a fusion, you get, if it is two, see this part. If a female are having 32 set, that is a pair, 32 होंगे pair में, so it's a female. But if fusion didn't happen, parthenogenesis के through, अगर egg itself fertilizes, then it will be the male. That will be explained to you, don't worry.